piss around. So I will stop blabbering on. Let's jump straight into this one. London on the CT side. Fierce already taking some damage early on. Swaggy is a bit worse for wear. And he's carrying some utility, as is Toten. So it looks like they want to go for a set piece onto this A bomb site.
Right, so I guess some grenades were deployed earlier, some HE grenades. The rotation is coming in. They haven't checked the deep corner there, and Fazan's taken one in the face, but the trade will be good for Fierce. It gives them position. Got a smoke down towards Arch. Stanley looking for something around it. Can't find much of anything, though. Soulcast is carrying the kit in CT spawn at present. And London are a man down. This would be a very key pistol round for Fierce to win. Starting on the right foot again as the underdog. That would be great for the confidence. The flash off the wall, trying to be avoided, but a headshot is there. And there's 2 for Toten, down to the 2 versus 1. And now Eccles needs to find the kit and find out where the last player is. Not picking just yet. He is top mid. The bomb's planted for him. Looking everywhere. Quick 180 from him. And I think he was going to try and defuse from behind the box, but it's too deep for that.
Oh,
Almost, but not quite. I think it may have been too late to defuse the bomb. Enter Cammy will take the pistol for Fierce.
actually almost looked like he had the defuse there, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Like he came off of it with like 0.001 or something. Oh, man.
I feel like that's something at the moment with like bomb diffusers. So many players fake initially that like, you know, your T side player peaks or like barely peaks or doesn't at all. So I feel like it might be like a smart idea in some of those situations to literally just hold on the first tap.
Yeah, it's like a coin flip type deal. Yeah, I agree with you. I think you don't like see it as much because people just they want to have the chance to fight and thinking that okay, you know, that's more of a sure thing. I can just win this fight as opposed to just thinking of it as a coin flip, which sometimes it really can be. So I think you make a good point there. And this is that nade that really sort of really takes chunks out of a T side if they're lining up grenades here, around where Swaggy is.
Oh, he's standing on the barrels as well.
Oh wow, he didn't take almost any damage.
Man,
The
I was
one spot.
excited. I'm always disappointed by HE grenades. It's so annoying.
Ain't that the truth?
Now, it is a minute 15 on the clock. London have not deployed a single smoke grenade yet. This does not bode well. There's the instant counter. There is a gap on one side, though, so they better not creep into that too much to peek, because that's a free kill. They don't need to give Fierce. Now, this is not good for Fierce. I think it's reasonable to say there's another smoke grenade. And there's a third one lying in wait, and there's one Molotov for Fierce. So Astro's got the third smoke grenade. Surprise! Okay, they need to go in front of it now. They've got the molly as well, and they go into the smoke and into the flames, and that's going to cost them 3 of their players. The bomb is on the floor. Sulcus, as he tried to stop the bomb from being planted with this little time, surely they're going to commit to this. Oh, they're going to fake it first, and that's going to give the CTs more time to push towards the site. But what choice? There is no good choice at this point for Fierce. Bomb will finally go down. Swaggy re-peeks, walks straight into the CZ, and there's a flash as well into Cammy in the pool position, and he will drown. A minute 15. I could read the disaster
Yeah.
when I saw that there were still 5 smoke grenades.
Yeah, that's the problem. And that's actually something that I noticed Endpoint did as well. You know, again, it's like the classic smoke delay on the force buy on the CT side of Inferno, very classic thing. But I didn't see Vexed doing it. And I think it's one of those things which you just have to have in your playbook. It's so effective. If a team doesn't know how to deal with it, they just get absolutely wrecked. You really have to have protocols, and you have to understand exactly what the team is doing. You have to pressure them a lot more to bait out those smokes. As soon as you see that there's 2 smokes, there's probably 5 smokes. And so then you already know, okay, this is how they're trying to play the round. And then you have your protocols of how to deal with it. And that can save you in those spots. Because I think when you're trying to call, if you're not prepared already to deal with a round like that, you haven't talked about it in advance as to how you deal with it, and then you're just experiencing it in the round and trying to organize 5 players to do the right thing, I think it's very difficult because people have to burst positions and do things together, so very awkward.
I would argue that this is maybe even a better round to win. They take an AK away. Sometimes you might take more than that. And there's less loss bonus for Fierce because they won the pistol. I think the other way around, if the T's win the second round, it's more powerful. But here we are. Astro had a teammate drop him an AUG. Seems to know his spray. They're lining up for him as well. And leaves Swaggy and Intercami. That's taken a lot of danger out of this round, but Desert Eagle is still something to worry about. 37 HP, and there's another 1 Deeg. Now things start to get hairy. That's a fat chunk of damage. Walking into the angle afterwards.
That's not all that necessary.
With the UMP, no less.
That's a problem. You can see that now that's going to split off Astro. Imagine if the Deagle shot comes in there onto the A-bomb side. Astro is going to try to go for the challenge through the smoke. That's very dangerous, but he manages to make it work for the 4K. But again, that's another one of those rules. If you're the only thing protecting the one avenue, like an avenue to a bomb side, so that you're the only guy on the B side of the map, and you don't know where the bomb is or where it's going yet, sort of pushing like that is definitely asking for trouble. That will be 2-1 though for London, but they lost a lot of money there.
They did indeed, and that can spur on Fierce. Just reinforce the idea that if we can win this round, they've got no money because of the damage we did with those Deagles. Give some extra focus to the players of the team. Don't want to jump in too much. Eccles though with the double dink. Says no to Swaggy. It's an important player taken out from Fierce. Now, Fierce have 1 flashbang and 2 smoke grenades with 1:20 on the clock, so times are hard right now. Astro up on the balcony. And the kills are just flying in. Fierce are heading very quickly towards Eco Town. They're all on the struggle bus. It will be down to the individual plays. They can still make this expensive, although it's not so likely at this point, 2 versus 5. Eccles and Stanley have taken some damage. Seems that Solkus will be popping out for a trade frag should one be required, although, there we go. Makes it even easier. The smoke tells them where the last player is. Just like that, there is 0 damage for Fierce. They don't have money to buy this round, which means that London can really build a nice economy very early on Inferno. So this is a pretty strong position for them.
And so far the Deagles have been pretty good for Fierce, but in both the maps they've been able to kind of do consistent amounts of damage with those weapons. So, but yeah, London are just in such a commanding position now, right? They have enough to kind of build up a bank. They can mitigate a lot of this early pressure from Fierce with the utility. It's good that we see the AUG. It's actually like gotten a number of kills as well. Like,
Yeah, the AUG is great. I think the spray is really, really easy to manage as well. So it's a lot of fun on that CT side. I'm a fan of the AUG and the M4A1 combo. Because pretty nice.
you get the
I'm a
most
fan of the
as well.
burger with cheese combo. Lettuce optional.
What about the relish? What about the tomatoes, James?
Not take a tomato. A
What about the
sliced
onion?
tomato.
And the garlic.
Take some garlic. 4-1 in favour of London. And Fierce buy down to an inch of their economy once again. Looking for players in the second mid position. Normally you'll find those grenades bounced off the building in second mid that has the door. It'll be deployed faster. So there will be no early frags in this round for London. Fierce taking it slow. They have possession of Banana already, however. This T side of Fierce. But again, London well equipped. They have all their smoke grenades. That is the first one, again at the minute 15 mark. So despite having Banana, London don't feel too challenged to dump all their grenades. No panic play from them. Elevated position for Link will avoid a headshot for him. And there's the opening frag for London.
Ooh, that's a pretty important peak there. That's his, Hype creating a 4v4. Obviously, he could have gone down to a 3v5 had he not been successful there. So that will affect their rotation. You can see it's 2 players to a bomb site now for London, so that sets Fierce up nicely. They do have 2 smokes as well, so hopefully they know the remaining players know the right smokes to get onto the A-bomb side. A smoke onto the arch side will make things interesting here. That will allow Astro to come and help Link with the crossfire there towards that pit position. They'll line up here. Link gets himself 3. That's a huge problem. Hype with 3 HP can't really do anything. He is perhaps a walking... Well, he's dead, isn't he? There's no way around it. He's dead. Oh, hello.
No, he's not. He's got 3 HP.
He's the Walking Dead.
Stops Link from getting the ace.
But that was... I was a bit sad to see the arch smoke because I feel like obviously that's one of the things that can happen if there's 2 on the site. They're either probably playing 2 on pit or they have a crossfire from the bomb site towards pit, which is what we saw here. So if you don't go for the arch smoke, you know, you can actually try to trade out a player on our side, give yourself some more options, isolate the player on pit better, try to play, you know, separate the defense, but quick push coming in here on Banana, and well, the fire doing a bit too much damage. That's what is this? What, 3v4 now for London.
I thought they'd get more out of that, especially with a nice flash. I think some people call that an Apex flash.
It's in rounds like these sometimes where London do get a little bit like greedy for frags, you know, where they know they're going to be on a weaker buy or whatever. Because they have, again, those strong individuals, they like to go for some flashy plays and might end up costing them in this one, to be fair.
You can see Link trying to hold down 2 jobs, but he's been fired. I think they read that no one is in the pit position the way he was looking. Fazan doesn't spot the player on the site though, but now he does, but he can't get the kill. Astro will be traded, which leaves Stanley coming in from the B bomb site. Gets towards the library peak just as the bomb's planted. Swaggy may have seen him. He's got a 1-tap angle. Going for those taps. Stanley's out. Still dueling. Who's going to run out of bullets first? Nobody really finding a fatal connection there. Both playing headshot angles. Swaggy will, though, take the round for Fierce. And obviously, winning by wipeout makes it very expensive for London. But only 1 person surviving for Fierce. There are advantages for London if they can win this round.
Maybe they got the sort of gluttony out of their system. Just going really aggressive on Banana, just standing in flames. Don't have to do that, but we'll see if the AWP now can make the difference. The full buy with the M4s, playing a bit more passively, knowing too that they have the opportunity to go for a full reset of their opponents. Get that hyper focus here, and they will be continuing to be thrown in here, doing a lot of damage. It's a nice pickup.
Potatoes.
Now, do they back off? A 5v4 is definitely a great spot to be in. They don't have to be so aggressive. They know it. Quick boost up on to Flowers. And they're both playing from CT, actually. That can be really nice if you expect the play to come in and you already have a man advantage. Can be a pretty viable way to play this. The Soulcast will rotate for the peaks.
1 minute mark and Fierce start to move in towards the B bomb site. There will be a trade of the player on the Flowers, and still a man advantage for London. Fierce at this point only equaling the frags. That's a great Molotov, forcing them out of the pool, stopping them from planting in the normal position as well. But the bomb will still get planted. A creep through the smoke from Intercami, almost getting a second kill. Looking for the play coming in from construction, but Soulcast will trade the frag. 3 versus 2. Fierce just can't equalize the men for too long. Plenty of utility for London. They've got a smoke for Banana to isolate Totem. Don't believe there are any gaps in there. Molotov for dark spot as well. Hype is blind, hiding in the corner of 22 HP, but Soulcast will face pretty low down. Now it's down to the 1v1. They know Hype is in this corner. No grenades left, pulling out the weapon. Astro 16 HP now. I don't think there's time to even defuse a bomb at this point, and they will lose everything. Once again, Fierce survive with 1 player, but that is those are 2 expensive rounds for London. And now their money gets really tight.
Doesn't actually get an AWP though. He could afford to buy an AWP, and they can just force buy around it. Soulcast with full money as well. They could definitely make this work. Get a couple MP9s. You know, you could find ways to have it. You know, to have aggressive setups. They could even, if they really wanted, with the AWP, to try to play it aggressively into second mid, or play someone down to bench with a smoke on second mid. There's all sorts of options aggressively on CT side Inferno. So that could be a possibility. Or we might see that the 5 smokes, half by 5 smokes and CZs. Looks like that might be what they're going for. It was successful before, so
Where the smoke's at.
let's fill up on those smokes. I think the previous time they did this as well, I think someone bought an incendiary and got 3 kills with it. I think it was Link.
Smokes, come on, smokes. You know how successful it was last time.
Come on,
Okay, Link with 2,000. I don't mind if he doesn't buy one. No, will they wait for the one? I feel like at 1 minute 15 specifically, they throw the first smoke. We'll see. Maybe Fierce can tease one out, but Fierce will start slowly, avoiding any early nonsense from London. There is a hint of some with a HE grenade off of the balcony. 1 minute 30, no challenge in Banana whatsoever. Eccles is just peeking at present from the top of Banana. And only Astro is having a look towards top mid. So we're about to reach 1 minute 15. And nothing just yet. Fierce are being so passive. Have they learned from the previous experience? Once they see one smoke. God, so little time. Actually, Link is the only person towards short A, and he's the one without a smoke grenade, but they're going into a 2-man stack. The smoke grenade there, just the first one. Now what do they do, Fierce? They've got no map control whatsoever towards Banana, but they're going to charge back. And again, there are still 3 smokes. Well, here's another problem for you.
No, man.
It's happening again, Dan.
Yeah, it is. It is a very difficult. Again, it's like one of those very difficult rounds to play against if you just don't have a plan for it ahead of time. Doing it on the fly is scary. And we'll see. Mornay's back in towards the A bomb site. 2 men on the pit position. One of those players, Stanley's, has the AK-47. Good peek, could come in here. There's one. Oh, he gets the triple. That's beautiful. So much damage has been done. 12 seconds to plant the bomb. Desperate stuff here from Intakami as he makes his way onto the plant. Safe on the site, but here comes the flashbang. Too many players, surely, as he tries to go for the spray, but it's Eccles with the finishing shots. And that is a very, well, I should say, I was about to say a surprising round win, but after seeing how much trouble Fierce had in the previous round where they had a similar buy, London, it's, I guess, not that surprising.
Making mistakes is one thing, but repeating them is quite another. So again, just didn't really. I mean, they gave London the opportunity to dump any grenades they had in mind at the beginning of the round, but then waited too long, decided to go into the execute. Didn't really give London a reason to throw any of their grenades, so they kept them for even longer than they normally would. And now here they are. A role reversal. Astro, can he get around the corner? He's got Eccles for support. The spray transfer is being attempted. Protected by the flames, but they won't stop the bullets. More Molotovs going down. A smoke. There will be a gap. Sulkers can protect the AWP at least. An AK-47 has been picked up, but this hasn't been the best start for London. That's a very important frag. Leaving only 2 players does make a hell of a difference, even from 3.
Yeah, London fast with the rotations. Good support on B. And a very desperate attempt on DA bomb site. Now Link will spot the first one. Easy frag for him. His teammate will die, but it's just a PT-50 left. It will be enough perhaps to get the plants. So there's bonus money. And maybe there's actually a chance to win this round. He's only got 15 health, but with the element of surprise on his post-plant position, if he can get the drop on Soulcast, there's always an opportunity. But it looks like he'll go in the corner of the side, I think. Soulcast will surely check this. He has a Molotov as well now. He just picked one up. Perhaps doesn't want to give away his position just yet. As Toten will be jumped. And that's a very nice shot from Soulcast, finishing it off. A lot of damage from Fierce once again. They seem to do consistently a lot of damage when they're just running around with pistols. Again, perhaps, you know, London looking for those frags, easy frags, which don't appear to be so easy.
Yeah, there was some anarchy there.
It seems like both these teams are very good at kind of converting like low buys, but or bringing them close at least. But
Well then, again, an all-important bomb plant for Fierce. Got much further than you might have expected, and now London are looking to take the game away completely. One player in the pit, headshot angle, but he won't be able to do much of that. 180 from Stanley, he'll get taken out as a crossfire for London on the banana position. There we go. There's the bait. Eccles will do it on his own. Actually, well, some assists from Solcas. That leaves Fazan a minute 25, and there's one player left for Fierce.
Do you like what you see, Scriv?
Yeah, I think it's been like a pretty good showing. London, a little bit more consistent. Like you say, Yumi, the low buys are quite good from both sides. I think one of the things to consider on the Fierce side is like Toten G has sort of recently been brought back in after flitting around the lineup as the in-game leader. So I think sometimes when you talk about like protocols and things on the T side, it's maybe lacking because they've not had a great deal of time to fit him into their kind of setup and work things out. But in terms of the mid-round calling, it does seem there are a few issues there as well. So yeah, like Fierce just not ironing out cleanly the issues that we saw on Dust 2, unfortunately, and London CT side is just nigh on impenetrable in some of these gun rounds.
Maybe he's got a life coach. They often say you should live your life spontaneously. And
Yeah, true.
can't come in too prepared for everything.
Yeah, this looks like we're seeing a lot of spontaneity here. There was a time when I couldn't say that word. Spontaneity. I don't know why.
It's an easy one to stumble on, to be fair.
I think it's just one of those words that like looks like a jumble of just vowels or something. Just when you're looking at the word. Either way, indeed, as you mentioned, London having a pretty fun time. Maybe too much fun in certain moments, but generally, obviously, they have things under control. Looking at this 8-3 at the moment, if they are to continue in this fashion, life will be very, very difficult for Fierce, and perhaps their rounds are numbered. But once again, the low economy will result in the pistols. That's a beautiful peek from Astro. He knows there's no AWP or AKs out, so he can go for that deep peek with a relative amount of safety. Takes down Swaggy as well, who has been very annoying on the Deagle, but he won't get anything this time.
Toten has a flashbang, but he's also carrying the bomb, and he's in apartments, which makes it less likely for the balcony burst, but also makes me wonder if there is actually a plan for this round. Because if the one guy with a flashbang is in the apartments, then was there any plan when he bought the flashbang? I would guess no. So it seems like there is a lack of direction in a round such as this. A little less purpose than you might like to see, which will make it harder to do damage. Like if your goal is to plant the bomb, it's a pretty good goal, but you need a good plan, especially on a map such as Inferno. So Toten G now, the only one here. Nastro will take the duel with his CZ75. That's a pretty nice lead for London at the moment. Astro with a really nice spawn as well. See where he chooses to go.
I think this is kind of one of the issues for Fierce. Like, they're very transparent on a lot of the pushes. Kind of noticed in that round, London were really like reactive with their utility usage rather than preemptive, because I think they have read into the fact like that Fierce just play a bit of a solid default every single time that's very, very similar, so they don't need to go crazy early on, and then it comes down to, again, you know, the minute 15, like, you know, using smokes and things like that. It's a lot easier for them to read the early round stages, because Fierce are just so kind of transparent, like I say.
Oh, very heavy banana presence from London. They will finally rotate their third man back towards A, and that's where Fierce are now starting to focus their efforts, although Stanleys will be holding things down pretty effectively. Got to be not caught on the reload there. Hype, understanding he has an option to go forwards, and he'll take it as he looks for the frag, and the flashbang from the CTs will be blinding their own as we get a very fast response here from Fierce, just darting down the quad position straight onto the bomb site. Crossfires all over the place here for the CTs to exploit, and it looks very, very easy indeed. Oh wow, not even a single kill from Fierce. Looked like they sort of went off a call there, and in the moment call, and it didn't really seem to work out.
Ended up going off a cliff. Painful deaths for Fierce. Only 3 rounds from 13 on the T side of Inferno. So it's starting, and they won the pistol round, let's not forget. So that is a really bad look for them. 5 Desert Eagles out, and who knows, maybe they'll win this round. 3 players in mid. Stanleys will have to be Very careful. Well-timed Molotov will force them back. I thought one player may have gone forward as it would have been closer. Good support for the AWP. And Link will fall back with that smoke, which he knows there'll be a gap in. That gap is taken by Swaggy. Close range headshot for him. Picks up the AK-47, takes position towards Arch. Now, do they head towards A? Do they wrap towards B? That's the question. They've left the bomb behind. The bomb is on T ramp, and there's no one to go and get it at the moment. London start to take the banana position. And despite all this great position for Fierce, they don't have the bomb.
Maybe they're just thinking to themselves, all right, guys, let's just try to get the frags here because there is some time. And, well, it looks like London are being really smart because they haven't seen the bomb. They're not sort of overcommitting and just letting the T's just sit where they are as they have the bomb sites. And finally forced to go back for the bomb. Fazan will go grab it. And they'll run all the way back towards A. But how much time are they going to have left when they try to make the move? Positioning is pretty good here for London. One on site, one in pits. Pretty standard stuff. They have flashes as well. Link has 2. Might not have time to throw them though, as now there's T's are oncoming. Spray, able to get 2 headshots, one of which very far away. And now it's a 2 versus 3 here for Fierce as they take over the bomb site. Soulcast can get a look in, but he wants to wait for his teammate, and that is smart. Eccles gets the drop on Toten. I have no idea how Toten won that fight. And that's going to be the round for Fierce. Very unexpected round win for them.
I almost think because they kind of stagnated, London just weren't really sure what they were doing at that point. I think they expected the wrap into the B bomb site, and so they set themselves up on banana as well as in construction to hold that. But that meant that they couldn't rotate over and maybe start to help out their teammates. So just overwhelming numbers, it seemed, for Fierce in that one.
We move into the last round of the first half. One player spotted by the bench, but again, Astro's closer to the corner of the wall, and he will take some damage. Stanley's with some shoulder peeking. Swaggy's peeking with the AWP now. And he's picking no longer. Smoked off. London, in the meantime, have control of banana as well. Eccles forced out. Doesn't fight to the death. Saw quickly had the opportunity to just run past and hide. And he will do exactly that. Another smoke deployed by Soulcast. And at the minute 15 mark, this time, after that smoke top mid, they've only got 1 smoke left, London. But there are 3 players remaining for Fierce. Unanswered frags from London.
Yeah, unanswered in more ways than one because not only are there no frags in return from Fierce, they have 0 map control. They couldn't get top mids. They couldn't get banana. It's only now that there's maybe an opportunity, now that London have given it up for free. Banana, that is. Top mid could still be contested as Stanley's waits in the cubby. But he could also just let them walk past and then shoot them in the back as well. That's also an option for him. He can just gather information, doesn't have to peek at all. You can see there's the crossfire set up with Soulcast.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely going to be quite problematic, isn't it? There's only 3 players left here. And here is a quick double coming in from Stanley's. Oh, a triple, in fact. He'll finish it off 11-4. London, very dominant first half.
I think that was quite smart, actually, because Soulcast just kind of like runs away from his spot, and then they're all probably like heard that he's running and looking to try and find him around that corner. Nice little bait setup in the end.
That is a monstrous half from London. And now it comes down to the pistol. A must-win situation for Fierce. I'm sure they'll be force sparring pretty much every round if they lose this. Swaggy, Kit, and a smoke. No P250s for the London side. 2 players with grenades, Link and Astro, both with smoke double flash. Hype quietly moving down banana. Oh, they've only got 1 player towards a Fierce, so they've made a big investment into the B bomb site, and they're all rotating. But now London is spread out around the apartments from bottom to top. It seems Eccles will entertain these players. Another one to find, but the frag will be traded. Astro will engage in a 1v1, but it won't go his way. In the meantime, London have taken the A bomb site, planting for the pit.
Now Soulcast with 2 players oncoming. There's the first peek. Deals with that one. 1 more where that came from. Very important frags there. Now he can come back and give attention to the bomb site. He's got 1 more teammate to work off of in the pit position. So Stanley's and Soulcast can play off of one another to try to stop these CTs from getting the defuse going. It's a very important smoke that will force out the T's here, and Fazan gets both kills. Very nicely done. I really thought London would have that one. They created so many advantageous situations, especially having CTs chasing them in T-spawn. Wasn't sure about the decision from the CTs to do that, but works out.
That's one of the more, that's such a strange pistol round to kind of witness, because everybody's just scrambling about in both middle and second middle, kind of trying to fight each other, trying to get the advantage. But I think that initial frag from Eccles as well being missed is a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like he could get one, fall back, and then suddenly there's just a huge amount of space created.
It looks like Fierce wanted to send 2 players down B, so in case they died, it would look like B is clear. They had another 2 players further back. But either way, they take both pistol rounds Fierce, and that's always important. And Takami falling back from that boiler position. Quick peek. Oh, that's a great transfer, but I was going to say a quick peek as his teammate re-smokes the mid position. Nice and cheeky. And that's a great start again. Looks like London will be focusing on the AK-47s in the next round. But Takami can farm himself a lot of money in the meantime. $1,800 for him. And Stanley now is the last man standing. You'll hear the sound cues of a player in boiler. Easy for him to avert this now. Does this give him some opportunity? Does he try to pick up the bomb? Because Fierce don't have angles towards apartments. Have a look at that. Did he get a sound cue? That could have been quite something, but it ended up being nothing. There are some holes in the defense here, though. Early on, looking a little scary. And now the AKs are out. Can't make those kind of plays all the time.
Pressure on the Krieg, I respect it.
Yeah, Pheasant just kind of misbought an MP9 as well. It's a bit awkward.
Oh dear. Well, I'm curious how the banana dynamics will go. See, Stanley's will throw a quick Molotov here to deny the CTs from any forward pushes, as opposed to backward pushes. There's the pop flash being readied by Fazan for Toten to peek with. There goes the peek. Oh, Eccles absolutely ready for that one. And that's a big win early on for London. Not only do they have Banana, but they've got a 5 versus 4 situation. So what they can afford to do now is they can try to leave one person Banana, take top mid with 4, then make a decision based on what happens there, whether they go back to B or take A. But effectively they will force the CTs back. That's a typical way to play this situation, but because Hype will take the situation into his hands if he can, but he can't, unfortunately, losing the battle in second mids.
Oh, that's a big one to lose. 2 players left is brutal, but creeping through the corner of the smoke is into Cami, almost a 3rd kill for him. Now, with Swaggy already towards that arch position, you won't know, but there are 2 players on the A site. Does he walk through the smoke? He does. Now, with Solcast on all of 5 HP and Swaggy with a kit, this is doable. The random shots through the smoke will concede the position of Astro. He knows when the player's on the site. Looks like he's focusing on Arch. Does he just peek towards the pit? There's the first player. There's a second. Does he have a read that the last player is towards B bomb site? He's got a kit. Eccles has to run. He'll hear him. Does he hold on to it? Eccles trying to get him off the bomb, but that is a round stolen away by Fierce. London have got to be triggered by that.
Yep, that's not very nice, is it? There will be a few red faces in the London camp. Beautiful stuff from Swaggy, showing his class, and then realizing that he can just go for the hold. Brilliant stuff there. And that does leave things in a very interesting place, because both Fierce and London will be spending all of their money pretty much in this round. So this becomes a pretty important swing round, so it's very wise that we'll see a tactical timeout from London to try and get everybody on the same page, because if they are to mess this one up, the repercussions are fairly dire. And Swaggy on the AWP. This will be fun to see what his decisions will be with that. Whether he'll just be planted on Banana or if he'll be very, very dynamic. He's got a very good spawn, so maybe he'll go for a peek here. How deep will he go? Not all the way to pit, and that's smart.
Flashbang for second mid, but no peak. But maybe the threat of the peak is enough to just throw the timing off a little for London. They've got smoke grenades, they've got flashes. They do not have any Molotovs. Oh, these just brazen peaks in the middle position.
Ooh.
You can't do that for free. The crouch peak of the Krieg from Astro. Most accurate weapon in the game. Fazan and Toten G left now. Fierce on the cusp of a reset. Out of position. Still heading towards the A bomb site. Not sure how advisable that is. It looks like Toten wants to go for it. Fazan's here as well now. One player in Boiler. Double peak necessary? No. Eccles will do it on his own. 12-7 in favour of London. And now Fierce have got no money.
Oh, look at that reset. I was going to say that I was a bit surprised that they were going for it with the 2v4 there, considering how bad their money is, because they would have been in a situation where they could have, had those two rifles, bought up smokes. We know how effective that can be. It's very cheap to do it. You don't need to buy Kevlar, honestly, with that. So, yeah, crippling resets. London only 4 rounds away from winning this one. We should expect them to have a good time here. And some of the confidence that we see from them in what appears to be on the CT side, rounds where they're almost throwing it, actually is the kind of confidence that on the T side can just have you go for these brazen peaks like in that previous round where they're just so confident and it broke the defense so quickly.
I also think
It
it's
was
just
pretty
like
safe.
there was just like overconfidence from the Fierce lineup as well. Like just strange peaks at weird timings. It seemed.
Very true, yeah.
Those 2 opening picks in middle just dismantled everything, and it's in such an important round as well, right?
He had Intercami peeking right on a weird sort of angle from Boiler. I'm not sure, was he peeking with a flash at least?
I
I'm
don't
not
think
sure.
so.
It did
I
seem
mean,
like it's a raw peak, right?
Yeah, maybe it was a read to catch people with grenades, but it's that you don't really see that kind of peak on Inferno. And I think he may have learned why. 6-round lead now for London.
Kind of have to full save again, really.
So
Yeah.
I really want to get Swaggy on the AWP, I guess, to give them the best chance possible. He's still got money, right? So
Shoddy.
it's
He's going to have
spicy.
4,900 next round.
Yeah.
Swaggy. So he'll just about have the money for AWP. The Nova. Good for $900 if you get a kill.
I see some people buying this more and more recently. It's been fun to see the Nova making a return. It's also been fun to see the Mag 7 just not really be bought, because that weapon has always betrayed me.
I think that's how,
Personal beef with the Mag 7.
Yeah.
it's probably how a lot of people feel.
If you look at some YouTube videos, actually, it is regarded as one of the worst shotguns ever in real life. It is very weird.
Ooh.
Well, a brief highlight in a non-round for Fierce. London are soon to be at double the score of their opponent and only 2 rounds away from a 2-0 victory. How is Swaggy? He hasn't taken a single bullet in this engagement with 2 players. Finally, he goes down after shooting Eccles in the head. And now it's pretty much now or never. Swaggy will be AWP, no Kevlar. So he's got to be careful the angles he chooses to engage. There are 3 HEs for London. And he could be killed by any one of them. You can do 101 damage with a HE grenade if it hits you and then explodes. So one must be careful. But he is in the middle of mid for now. Really trying to make a difference, but he will have to fall back.
Yeah, some early damage done to the CTs, and a shot straight to the face. Hype is very dead, trying to play in front of the smoke. It was surprising for Soulcast, but he reacted well, and that's an early advantage. And Fierce, they're often dropping players fairly early, and we all know, we've all played Inferno CT side. We all know how difficult that can make it, especially now that Banana is under attack as well. Intercami going for an aggressive play. This might be a good way to get, well, to make things a bit easier, but he can't win the duel, and in fact, things will just get demonstrably harder.
Eccles has been taken out. Swaggy remains on the arch position. However, the site has been taken by London. The rotation is required, and it is on the way. There's a smoke, maybe for the arch position, a re-smoke for London. There it is. As the bomb gets planted for the pit position. Now, can London bring themselves to match point? Link on the bicycle. Spotted one player towards short. Up he goes again. Some pre-fire. Pop flash, and now it's the last two players for Fierce. Maybe at the point of no return. Really need this kill on the player in the pit, but he's not giving it up to them. He's playing for the crossfire. Teammate peeking first from the side, and that's a wide peek from Link. Swaggy gets absolutely deleted. Match point London.
That was really well played by Link there. It's so tempting to just try to peek and face from pit because you feel very safe in that position. But sometimes, even if you're going to win an engagement 80 or 90% of the time, the 10 or 20%, you still want to hazard that. If you can just play with teammates and guarantee it, then that's pretty much always the best way to do it.
Yeah, that 10% will win you matches.
Yeah.
Fierce now. Last chance saloon for them. A scout on Inferno. That's not an ideal situation at all, is it? The Mag 7 is out as well. Dan's favourite weapon. And triple UMP. Soulcast can't really trade the kill. Not sure what the status of the balcony is, and it seems that they will expend some utility there. Really not sure as to where that player may have gone, but Intercami once again is caught in that middle position.
He's loving it. He's just running down mid all the time.
Yeah, I think this, well, seems that this is the end of the road for Fierce, and indeed it is. Brutalized on Inferno. It seems the disciplined approach from London was too much for the very loose style of Fierce.
Did you guys feel like there was a bit of tilt?
Yeah.
Yeah, towards the end, for sure.
Especially on the CT side, it just felt like as soon as you kind of highlighted the fact that they kept losing players very early on,
Yeah.
You are sort of incentivized to try and look for an opening elsewhere, right? And it seemed like London were very clued into that. They were very prepared for all these aggressive peaks kind of into the mid-round, and they kind of continued to capitalize off the early advantage that they were able to gain.
I think as well it was like they'd lose that early control, and then instead of trying to recover it back, it seemed they'd just sort of argue with each other, or like a solo player would just sort of overcompensate or try and force the issue rather than working around it. Like, how do you play from behind as a team?
Yeah, yeah.
It comes out like the individuals were just a bit, too aggressive and not winning their fights.
How about that? 37 frags for Eccles. Everybody turning up though for London. You can see there is a good average for the most part, but 37 frags, 27-22 damage for London Esports. Congrats.